Chapter 3. The Market's Call. Lilly woke before sunrise the next morning, the pale blue light of early dawn creeping through the cottage curtains. For a moment she lay still, listening to the faint sounds of Snowberry Hollow waking, distant birds, soft wind through the chimney, the creak of old floorboards expanding in the warmth. Her chest felt tight and full at the same time. Excitement, nerves, and something else she couldn't name yet. May's letter sat on the bedside table, edges slightly curled from how many times she'd opened it already. Lilly reached out, brushed her fingers over it, then swung her legs out of bed. Today she needed to prepare for the Christmas market. Today the village would form its first impressions. And first impressions mattered, even the messy ones. She tugged on jeans and a sweater, shrugged into her coat and stepped outside. The air was crisp, sharp, fresh with the kind of cold that made your lungs feel brand new. Snow lay thick along the rooftops and fences, soft and untouched except for one set of footprints leading toward the bakery. Large footprints. Jack's. She followed them down the lane, her breath turning into clouds that drifted past her cheeks. The village was golden from within, windows glowing, wreaths shining, the faint clatter of someone opening their shop for the morning. When she reached the bakery, she saw Jack propped against the doorframe, arms crossed, breath steaming in the cold. Poppy sat at his feet, swinging her legs, wearing 2 mismatched mittens, and a scarf wrapped so many times around her neck she resembled a very tiny snowman. Jack raised a brow as Lilly approached. "You're early." "So are you," she countered. "I have a farm," he said dryly. "Things start early whether I like it or not." Poppy jumped up. "I brought my lucky cookie cutter!" She held up something that looked like a gingerbread. Man, if the gingerbread man had been flattened by a cartwheel. Lilly smiled. "Perfect. We'll need all the luck we can get." Jack pushed the bakery door open. And possibly divine intervention. The bakery heats up. Inside, the bakery warmed quickly as they lit the oven. While Jack checked yesterday's cooling racks, Lilly retrieved May's recipe box again. "Gingerbread for the market," Jack said. "It's tradition," Poppy corrected him. "It's the law." Jack rolled his eyes. "Nobody made it a law." Poppy jutted her chin out. "I made it a law." Lilly laughed as she tied an apron around her waist, noticing that today she felt more ready, still terrified but ready. They worked side by side, Lilly rolling dough too thin, Jack fixing it with practiced ease, Poppy aggressively, pressing cookie cutters into the dough with the focus of a surgeon. The bakery filled with warmth, the smell of spices, the crackling hum of the oven. Lilly caught Jack watching her once or twice, not in a teasing way, not in the annoyed way he often pretended, just observing. She tried not to blush. She failed. "Don't lean too close to the mixer," Jack warned, tapping the edge. May once got her sleeve caught in it. Nearly lost the whole batch. "Oh, great," Lilly groaned. "So this is a bakery with a vendetta." "Pretty much." Poppy screamed suddenly. Both adults jumped. "What? What is it?" Lilly asked, rushing to her side. Poppy pointed dramatically at a gingerbread man whose leg had broken, off in the transfer to the tray. "He's hurt," Jack sighed. "It's a cookie, Pops." Poppy glared. "He has feelings." Jack looked at Lilly, defeated. "Do something." Lilly crouched next to Poppy. "We'll call him Bob One Leg," she said solemnly. "And he will be our hero cookie." Poppy gasped. "Yes." "Bob One Leg, savior of Snowberry," Jack muttered under his breath. The bar is so low for hero status. But when Poppy wasn't looking, Lilly saw him smile. Meeting the locals. By mid-morning, villagers began popping by. Mrs. Pennington brought a basket of holly sprigs. The postman delivered a stack of old invoices and a Christmas card addressed to May. 2 teenagers came in to ask if Lilly would be selling cinnamon buns at the market. Every person spoke to Lilly like they'd known her for years. May always said someone special would come back. "You look just like her when she was young." She would be so proud. Each comment wrapped around Lilly like a thread, soft but strong. Jack stayed close, helping where needed, offering silent moral support every time she looked overwhelmed. Poppy sat on the counter, swinging her legs, handing finished cookies to customers like she was queen of the bakery. When a tall man with a red beard entered, Jack stiffened. "Morning, Tom," he said cautiously. Tom offered Lilly a polite nod. "You must be May's niece." "I'm Tom Avery." Jack leaned toward Lilly and whispered, "Village gossip." Tom cleared his throat loudly. I heard that. Jack smirked. You always do. Tom looked Lilly up and down in a friendly but appraising way. Market's tomorrow. Folks say you're baking. Brave move. Lilly swallowed. Terrified, actually. Tom grinned. Good, means you're doing it right. Another villager entered behind him and another behind that. Suddenly the bakery was full of chatter, of warmth, of community. And Lilly felt something she hadn't felt since she was a child. Belonging, a mysterious discovery. By early afternoon, the crowd died down, and Jack helped Lilly clean the counter. Poppy was in the corner building a gingerbread army. Lilly opened a cupboard to look for more trays and froze. Jack, she said quietly, come here. He crossed the kitchen and peered over her shoulder. Inside the cupboard was a small, dust-covered wooden box, different from the recipe box. Carved on the lid was a single letter. M. Lilly lifted it out gently. You seen this before? She asked. Jack shook his head. No, May must have hid it. Lily's heart thudded. She opened the lid. Inside were old photographs, a bundle of letters tied with red string, a small wrapped parcel the size of a book, and a folded paper labeled, For the Truth, Not Before She's Ready. Jack blinked. That looks important. Lilly felt the weight of it in her hands. Heavy, emotional, meant for her. But she didn't open it. Not yet. Instead, she whispered, May, what were you hiding? Jack placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Whatever it is, he said softly, you won't have to go through it alone. Lilly looked up. His eyes held warmth, steadiness, something she hadn't expected from a stranger 2 days ago. Something that made her chest feel unbearably full. Thank you, she said. He gave a small, crooked smile. Don't thank me yet. You still have to survive the market. From across the bakery, Poppy shouted, We need more icing! Lilly laughed, the tension breaking. And as the snow fell softly outside, as the gingerbread cooled, and as the little box waited unopened on the counter, Lilly realized this wasn't just baking. This wasn't just obligation. This was the start of something bigger than she understood yet. Something May had planned. Something the village knew. Something Lilly was stepping into. One cinnamon bun at a time. Chapter 3, Part 2, Gingerbread Walls and Blurred Lines. By the time Lilly flipped the sign to closed, the sky had settled into a rich winter purple, clouds tinted with fading daylight, fresh snow drifting lazily down. Her muscles ached in places she didn't know existed. Her hair smelled faintly like ginger and mild panic. Jack leaned against the counter with arms folded, watching her with that amused but trying not to show it expression he seemed to reserve just for her. You survived, he said. Barely, Lilly groaned. My shoulders feel like I wrestled a reindeer. Tomorrow you'll wrestle too. She glared at him but couldn't hide her smile. Jack cleared his throat suddenly, almost awkwardly. Hey, so, there's a gingerbread house competition at the town hall tonight. Kids, families, a few adults who take it way too seriously. Like aggressively competitive gingerbread people? Exactly. He paused, then added casually, You should come. Me? Lilly blinked. Why? Jack shrugged, scratching the back of his neck. Village tradition. And you're part of the village now, plus Poppy insists. Poppy, who was stuffing several of her gingerbread soldiers into a tin, perked up. We're going. And you can be on our team. Daddy says we're disqualified if we glue things with actual glue this time. Jack shot her a look. That was 1 year. It was last year, Poppy corrected. Lilly laughed. All right, I'll come, but no glue, Jack smirked. Can't promise what the competition will do. The town hall. Snowberry Hollow's town hall was strung with twinkling lights, wreaths on every window, and long wooden tables covered in bowls of candy, icing bags, and gingerbread house panels. The smell was heavenly. Sugar, cinnamon, peppermint, hot chocolate. As soon as Lilly stepped inside, several heads turned. She felt her stomach twist, nerves fluttering. Jack placed a hand lightly on her back, guiding her forward. It's all right. They're curious. New faces are rare. A tall man with sandy hair waved them over. Jack, you made it. Jack grinned. Lilly, this is Ben, local carpenter. Builds half the town. Complains about the other half. Ben snorted. Only the parts Jack breaks. A woman beside him nudged Ben's shoulder. I'm Ellie. Welcome to Snowberry Hollow. Everyone was warm, friendly, Genuinely curious about Lilly, it was overwhelming in the best way. Jack placed a tray of gingerbread pieces on the table. "Okay, team, we're making a house," Poppy gasped. "A mansion." "No," Jack corrected. "A structurally stable cottage," Ellie whispered to Lilly. "He says that every year it collapses." Lilly giggled. "Good to know." They worked for nearly an hour, assembling, icing, decorating. Lilly found herself laughing more than she had in months. Ben complained about icing ratios. Poppy ate more candy than she applied. Jack pretended not to notice. At one point, Lilly leaned over to steady a collapsing wall just as Jack leaned forward to do the same. Their hands touched. Both froze. Jack pulled back quickly, clearing his throat. Careful. The icing needs a minute to set." "Right," Lilly murmured, pretending her heart wasn't racing. When the judges walked past, Poppy puffed up proudly. "This is Bob One-Leg's house. He lost his leg in the gingerbread war of 2020. Jack buried his face in his hands. Ben nearly choked from laughing. Their house didn't win, but Jack whispered to Lilly, "Market day will matter more anyway." And Lilly believed him. A glass of wine. The hall emptied slowly, snow falling heavier when they stepped outside. Ben and Ellie waved goodbye and headed toward the pub. Jack glanced at Lilly. "You eaten yet?" "No. Pub's got decent wine, terrible chairs, and excellent gossip." "Want a drink?" Lilly hesitated only a second. "Yeah, I'd like that." The pub was warm, golden lit, bustling with soft chatter. Jack ordered them each a glass of mulled wine, and they found a tiny corner table near the window. Lilly cupped her hands around the warm glass. "This is nice." Jack nodded. "You handled today well." "Thanks. I wasn't sure if people would accept me." "They will," Jack said simply. "Snowberry Hollow is slow to trust, but quick to love once it does." Lilly looked into his eyes then, really looked. Something soft flickered there. Something gentle and unexpectedly vulnerable. She swallowed. "Jack, thank you. For today. For helping. For—" He raised a hand slightly. "You don't owe me anything." "I know," she smiled. "But I want to say it anyway." His lips twitched. "Well, then you're welcome." They talked until the fire crackled low. About May. About the market. About London. About Poppy's wild imagination. Lilly laughed more in that hour than she had in years. When they finally stepped outside, the air was crisp and quiet, the village wrapped in a blanket of soft white. "I'll walk you home," Jack said immediately. "You don't have to." "I know," he replied. "But I want to." The walk home. Their footsteps crunched softly in the snow, breath visible in the cold night air. The stars were bright, brighter than anything Lilly ever saw in London. Jack slowed as they reached her cottage, lantern glowing warmly above the door. "Well," he said softly, "you survived day 2. She laughed gently. "Thanks to you." Jack shook his head. "You did most of it." Lilly hesitated, fingers brushing the edge of her coat. "Jack, today meant a lot, more than you know." He looked at her then, a look that lingered longer than it should, warming her cheeks despite the cold. And something shifted, a step too close, a breath too intertwined, a moment too perfect. Jack leaned in, hesitant, as if unsure of the world and himself at the same time. Their lips brushed. Soft. Accidental. Electric. Lilly's breath caught. Jack pulled back instantly, eyes widening. "Oh, sorry. That wasn't... He ran a hand through his hair, clearly mortified. "I should go." "Jack?" "No, really, I should, Poppy, sleep, farm, early, yeah." Without waiting for sense to return to his words, he turned and all but power walked down the lane. Lilly stood frozen, fingers gently touching her lips. A tiny laugh escaped her, surprised, breathless, warm. "Well," she whispered into the snowy night, "that just complicated things." She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. And for the first time since arriving in Snowberry Hollow, she felt something blooming quietly in her chest. Possibility.